So, what's your name?
My name is Juan Carlos Hunt.
What's your nationality?
My mother was born in Venezuela, and my father was born in Dominican Republic.
Where were you born?
Manhattan, in Metropolitan Hospital.
So you're first generation born here?
Yes, I am.
What do you do for a living?
I work for a firm on Wall Street called Strategies for Wealth. And within Strategies for Wealth, I have my own company called Celebrity Financial Group, and we do financial planning for the sports entertainment world. So we make sure athletes have a budget, don't go broke, they have money for their mistress, money for whatever they need, and we take care of our people.
So what purchase did you recently make?
I make a lot of purchases. Are you talking about
like clothing wise?
Oh, clothing wise, I bought a Canali, I bought a Canali black and white pinstripe suit, and for $2,000.
Why did you make that purchase?
Well, in my job, in my line of work, it's like, for example, let's say you have someone at McDonald's or someone who's a chauffeur, whatever your job is, you have an outfit or a uniform you have to wear to work. And in my line of work, what I have to wear is tailored suits. Buy a suit and it always has to be tailored. And that's company policy. You cannot be seen by your client wearing the same clothes or by different people, especially the celebrities and the athletes I deal with. So I always have to, have new suits, different stuff, different bullets in the clip.
Where did you go to purchase these suits?
Well, I usually go to Saks or Bergdorf. Those are my two favorite stores. Saks I like because there's a lot of girls, and Bergdorf is good for the customer service. I go for something I like. I never think I should buy this because I'm Hispanic. That's not something that crosses my mind. Do I have more of a fashion sense than a lot of people at my job because I grew up, buying different things and into fashion? Yes, but I don't think it's based in any way on my ethnicity.
So what you say is more based on your work environment?
No, my work environment has an influence because of my job, you have to make sure that you look a certain way all the time. Because you never know when you'll bump into a client or one of their managers, or you don't know who you can bump into, That's just how it happens, I met, I don't know if I could say the celebrity's name, but there's people that I meet even in random places like an airport that later become clients. So, I want to make sure I look good. So, because of work, I make sure that I'm always dressed, I'm always nice. Even on the weekend, I'll have like a Gucci cashmere sweater on with some nice jeans and some shoes or some loafers. I love boat shoes,
Okay, so you said because, for instance, because of your upbringing, that you have a more fashion sense than your co-workers.
Yeah.
So are the type of suits that you select are they different from the suits that your co-workers wear? And if they are, how different, the style, or is it like the prestige or the brand,
What I think it is when I first got into Wall Street, when I first started working in Wall Street, I was ignorant to the whole suit thing, So what I would do, I thought, Men's Warehouse, 2 suits for $199 or buy one get one half off. That's what I thought suits were, Men's Warehouse. But when you get there, you realize that's like fast food. That's like comparing McDonald's to Noble, with all the options that you have. So a lot of my coworkers, they'll go into Brooks Brothers and they'll get dressed in a suit by someone. I don't like that. I like to go pick something out. And then, when I first got into Wall Street, my first 2 months, I thought Brooks Brothers was like this great thing. Then I find out from other people that I worked with, and just once you're into something, you're into that culture, you start reading up about it. I found out Brooks Brothers was like a generic brand. Brooks Brothers is generic, So, then I started going to Saks and Bergdorf, and I'd see a suit and I like the color on the stripes and match it with the tie and want to get the cufflinks to match the watch.
How would you describe your upbringing? Since you had a father who come from the Dominican Republic and your mom that comes from Venezuela.
Well, my upbringing is very interesting because I grew up with 5 people in a 1-bedroom apartment. So it was very modest. My parents slept in the living room on the floor because my father had a bad back, and my mom wanted to sleep with him, obviously. So she slept with him on the floor, and I shared a room with my 3 sisters. And growing up, up until I was in 9th grade, my sisters and I all shared a bed. So that was like, but you know, it's our family was so fun, and you know, I had my cousins, next door, and you know, we had fun. So you don't realize how poor you are growing up until you really get older. I played soccer, so it's funny my upbringing because I kind of walked in 2 worlds. I was really good at soccer. I was in the one of the travel teams in the Manhattan Soccer Club called Manhattan United. And, excuse me, so a lot of kids on my team, their fathers were lawyers or doctors. They had Mercedes, Audis, penthouses on Park Avenue, or brownstones in the Upper West Side. So I'd go to these gigantic homes and see all these, be around a lot of rich people, but I didn't know it growing up because that's just how I grew up, you know. And, you know, I went to an elementary school that was with a lot of wealthy kids, so I didn't really know that I was poor, you know. So being wealthy or having money to me, there was no mystique to it because some of my best friends, their parents were wealthy, and I just didn't know that that's what it was at the time. So, like, when I realized what wealthy was, I'd be like, Zach's father's rich, so if he did it, I could do it. Does Zach's father, that weirdo, you know? So, I think I had a great upbringing because I got to see a lot. I hung out in the projects, then I'd hang out on Park Avenue. You know, I'd play basketball with my friends in Harlem, and for the next 2 weeks I'd be in Amsterdam in Europe on a soccer tournament. So it was really up and down my upbringing. But my mom was very, very, you know, something about the Latin culture where she's like, listen, you always have to look good. You know what I mean? You might not come home to a nice bed or, you know, a flat screen TV. I don't even know if they were flat screen TVs. They had the big projector flat screens back then. But, you know, you're going to look good when you go out. You'll at least look as good as everyone else, you know? So she did a lot of sacrificing to make sure I looked good, you know?
Okay, so let's see. All right. So knowing that you was growing up, you know, you got, like you said, a poor family, even though they feel like poor. Now that you are able to afford, you know, these clothings that you probably always wanted, or you know, you could just go there and say, "Oh, I like that. Let me get it." Do you feel that since you were raised in that type of environment that you couldn't get what you wanted, you only like, and you even struggled to get what you needed, now that you're able to do so, that you just want to go buy?
No, because see, that's, you know, it's funny you ask that because a lot of my clients, they're NBA players or NFL players or, you know, people in the music business, and they have that mentality where it's, I call it an insecurity. Because they've never had anything their whole life. I never had anything my whole life. Then when you get money, you want to show everyone you arrived. So you overcompensate for it by buying a lot of things to show that you actually arrived. I have money now. I'm not poor anymore. Look, you know, I have a Bentley. I have this. But like I said, I grew up around a lot of really wealthy people also. So I saw that some of my friends, they'd have the same sneakers for the whole year, you know, broken down, or the same shirts. And, you know, what it showed me was, you know, subconsciously, and something that is true today, people who've had money in their family for generations don't have to go out and spend, do this, do that to show they have money, because they know they have money. So it's not something that they need to broadcast. For me, personally, I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle. Because I don't just go out, spend, buy. But, you know, I know what I like, and I buy it. And when I was younger, I used to buy things here and there, but I was always the type of kid that would tell my parents, don't buy me anything. When school came around, don't buy me anything. Don't buy me any school clothes. Just give me money from my birthday. And I'd save up $500 and buy 3 Moschino shirts, you know, because I knew that's what I wanted. That's what I liked.
Okay.
So, you know.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel if you were raised, or not even raised, but do you feel, because I know you visit Dominican Republic and or Venezuela.
Yeah, with you.
So, when you're over there, do you feel that your spending habits change, or your perspective on the way you spend when you're here in America changes?
No, because my parents, like my father, for example, my father used to shine shoes and sell candies in the street in the Dominican Republic. You know, they were 7 kids, no electricity, 1 room, no bedrooms, just 1 room, 7 kids, his mom and his dad. And, you know, he grew up really hard. So he always, you know, would tell us stories of how he struggled. So I was always happy with everything I had. But, you know, being in New York, it made me feel like I can do anything I want. You know what I mean? I can do this, you know?